Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Let'sPlay some more Pillars of Eternity, where I am going into zombie land.
Right.
Right indeed. Well, we've got the ghoul. Let's get them at the top here. Where's the Dragul, or the Dargul? Ah, there he is. Lockpick. Oh, bollocks. Let's sprint. Alright. Eater, I'll have you move up. Gamorrean, get the juice going. Start shooting the Dargul. Oh, yeah, nukes. Nukes for days, baby. And then bear time. Boar time, I guess. Alright, you tech that ghoul, you tech that ghoul. Kana. Yeah, that's okay. Please do a thing. What does this do? It's been flanked and weakened. Let's buff this up for Kana. Oh, jeez. Can you get over here and shoot some shit, please? Shoot the Dargul if we can. Alright. Kana's wrecking some dudes. Yeah, let's keep doing Blessed was Winder here. Let's get the Dargul off. Alright, let's see if we can retreat a bit. Alright, there we beat up on him. How do you stay back? Man, do I need to... I feel like I need like another heavy aligned guy.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's just not, it's not beefy enough.
On your word.
We just use one tank? I don't know. Well, first things first, we'll have a nap. If I can. Nap? Yeah, baby. It's nap time. It's nap time. Time to sleep. I'm awake. You awake to see Durance, his staff held in both of his hands before him. A flame flickers at its top end, casting long shadows across his face as he stares in contemplation. Still, for all the light of the fire, your eyes can't focus on him. Perhaps it is awakening from sleep, or a trick of the light, but he seems indistinct, blurred around the edges, everything except for the staff. The staff. He seems to be studying its engravings. As you watch, the engravings glow thinly red, like through the cracks of a heat-suffused wood. The lines stream like molten metal, burning along the edges of his staff, then branch out in an intricate series of fiery veins, bunching thickly where his hands clutch the wood, pulsing as if a heartbeat. As you watch, the veins spiral into a dozen separate circles, circles that spiral again until they are arranged in a circle of their own. They pulse, wait, and all is strangely silent, and then suddenly there's a great light from the fire, a rushing of air, a great flash, and you awaken again to see Durance in the same place, still holding his staff, but he is solid, real. He doesn't seem to have noticed you, or reacted to what occurred. Okay. Hi.
What?
Thought I felt your eyes on me. Now come the words. I had questions I wanted to ask you.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
I saw something strange. You were sitting by the fire, and I saw great lights from your staff.
Tell me what you saw.
It's like a flash, an explosion, a rushing of air, incredibly bright.
It is the light of the God Hammer you saw.
The God Hammer?
It was a weapon of Deerwood's people, a symbol of their independence. It saved the Deerwood.
What do you know about it?
It brought the Saints' war to an end, knocked a god from his perch. There are few that would deny Aothis overstepped. The Godhammer reminded Aothis of it. You saw its light because I helped shape it, give it life, and release it into the world. Once seen, its glory is almost too bright to be believed, and too bright to be forgotten.
My character's super thick. You helped build the Godhammer?
There were 12 of us. We fashioned the weapon, drafted plans for it, prayed for guidance at Ashfall, and it came to me there. Each of us were given a staff made from the forest of black trees around us, glowing with embers and fire far greater than this branch you see now. It felt as if the staff was Margaren's own finger, guiding my hand, guiding the other 11, the shadows of the 12 who had come to stand on the bridge to stop Aothis.
I also saw a dozen bright circles emerging from your staff as well.
Even in that stand, there was a ritual to it. For the 12 that stood on the bridge, there were a dozen shadows cast, a dozen faithful of Margaren, her fiercest supporters and shapers of the Godhammer.
Durance rests the staff in front of him, and the flame atop it curls for a moment, the light flaring slightly. It splits into a ring of flames, one after the other, until a dozen is met.
As 12 held Aothis fast, we 12 unleashed our prayers and let the Godhammer fall.
Then it blossoms brightly, once, and resumes its candle intensity. In the aftermath, the shadows seem sharper in the vicinity, as if they have edges, and you blink to clear your vision. Durance is still staring at the tiny candle-like flame intently.
Shadows cast by the fire of the Godhammer, perhaps. And we shared their fate as well in time. Now the spine of the Deerwood is marked by the Godhammer, marked by Margaren.
What do you mean, share their fates?
Not all deaths come with stilled breath and stilled heart, or other stilled passions beneath the waste. Some deaths come from silence. The connection we once shared with Margaren, after the light of the Godhammer, it was not the same. It was as if we'd lost our senses, and sense of purpose as well. Instead of victory being welcomed, there was silence, within and without. Not many can claim to have killed a god. It is less a heroic tale than you would think. And such a death, it changed our faith. All faiths, I expect. Doubt followed, and the world changed. I do not believe Margaren was pleased by what we had done.
Why is that?
The world is broken, the wheel stilled. There is sickness in the world's heart. Perhaps the price of crossing a god. Crossing 2 gods. Even as Margaren shaped our hands, perhaps we carried her will farther than was allowed. Just as Widewind did. Saint Widewind. Mortal arrogance to match mortal arrogance. Yet if the world had changed, then I sought to change with it. If I had forgotten some of Margaren's teachings, I would find them again. I would make her see me again.
What did you do?
I remembered Margaren's teachings. How reminders on the flesh were more important than the death of a vessel. And I wondered if killing Aothis, if that had simply set him free. Had it allowed him to escape his punishment and be taken on the wheel? Like a mortal? As I stepped from the now blessed Godhammer Bridge, I thought of Ashfall. I thought of the War of Black Trees, wondered if I needed to be burned to find myself again. That is Margaren at her heart. At least that is my hope. These are the doubts that befall me.
What happened when you returned to Ashfall?
The road to Ashfall is long, gives one time to think. And if you think long enough, you do not go home. I left without telling anyone, with only the robes I wore at Halgot. my staff, and my name, which is long buried. Of my fellow 11 craftsmen, disciples, I know not what happened to them, if they suffered the same doubt as I did. But it was underserved. It was wrong. We had done all that. Oh, had asked. Grab victory from defeat and
You feel as if you betrayed your god?
there is something about being used and cast aside. Perhaps Widewen himself felt it. There at the end, when the hammer struck. To be the proof that your god is hollow as the vessel it inhabits. I tried to find purpose, and avoided all contact with other Magranic priests. Did not seek the walls of Ashfall, and sought to make amends to my god through actions. I joined with the Purges for a time, and not long after came the first signs of the Hollowborn. So many crimes, trespasses, violations. The Salvation. Animancers were another sickness born of the Saints' War. A relapse of innovation, of desperation to heal what we had caused. All seemed worse than before the bridge, not better. And as years passed, the world became even worse still for the victory.
Don't think that makes sense with Magrin, the number 3 committed atrocities. It would seem Magrin silences the trial. Sweat collects in the sooty creases of his forehead and runs down his ruddy cheeks. It drips from the tip of his nose. His mouth moves, but his utterances make no sound. He is, for once, at a loss. Feeling your gaze, he quickly composes himself, wiping his forehead with the back of a dirty hand.
Worship the whims of some fickle bitch, and you'll never be more than dirt beneath her feet. Worship what she worships, on the other hand. Take her fire for your own, and her esteem comes on its own. Of course, by that time, you no longer need it. Trial and transformation, sure as Durance taught.
Durance glares at you, and staring into his eyes gives you the feeling of peering over the edge of a great cliff.
You think to put the coals to my feet, but what's burned once will never burn again. These talks are your trial, Watcher. You cannot deflect the truth to one who has already been purified by it.
Tell me what happened on the bridge. We chose the bridge because we could control it. Durance's hands tighten at the top of the staff, as if holding it by the neck. It was a place where we could choke Aethas in his own footsteps, where we knew his feet would fall, a narrow neck of stone. But it was much more than that. It was the spine of the deerwood, symbolic of its backbone. Such symbols are important in the construction of a weapon. Any weapon. Durance's face hardens, his eyes burn, his eyebrows narrowing. I suspect Aethas knew that as well, and so did his vessel in its arrogance. He intended to walk upon the bridge of his walking on the backs of the deerwood, and we intended to burn him with the light of our faith, and his. 12 on the bridge, 12 in the shadow, and gave ourselves to it. We gave ourselves to it?
We put much of ourselves into the Godhammer. Such a device is not simply a machine. There are elements of the spirit in it. Even Widewind's spirit.
Widewin, why?
We all studied Widewind. He was our enemy, and he had provided the flesh the god wore as a cloak. That flesh made him vulnerable. I knew what fields his hands had tilled, his family, what he had harvested, where he had been born. We sought to know him, what had led him to fight us.
Why was that important?
You don't kill the god. You kill the man it inhabits. And you leave that man a ruin. Burn him to ash. The weapon was meant to not only burn his flesh, but it would burn his soul. And it did. At the cost of our own. And at the cost of our goddess's favor. That whore be damned.
Is that why your image was blurred in the dream? Durance frowns, glances at you with a sharp look. Perhaps your eyes were blinded by the Godhammer's light, Watcher. I may feel half a man at times, but even that is twice that of most others.
If you fear for my spirit, your fears are baseless. The Godhammer, seeing its light, only fueled my anger and made me stronger, made me re-examine the teachings of Margren, put them in a new light.
Looked as if there was only part of you, as if your spirit had been shit in half.
I do not need you to cast any more questions on me, Watcher. Nor did I ask you to look upon me without my leave. Get gone, and leave me be.
Alright. Interesting. Huh.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea.
Ooh.
Which is not very
that quiet. Baltas. Let's open the door. Oh, we need a key. It's like a Magrin statue. Oh, nope. Yeah, duelist hat. Ooh. Oh, right, this is the northeast where we heard some voices. We heard a lot of voices earlier from Durance's long-winded speech,
Nice
am I right?
and quiet.
Sure. A woman turns when you enter. Her wide, pale eyes shine like lamps in the darkness of the tomb. 4 crucible knights hover nearby, their glazed expressions fixed on her. Reinforcements at last. I hope you've come armed, because we've got to get out of here. Something about her seems hazy and insubstantial, even in the darkness of the tomb. Who are you? A commander of the Crucible Knights. I lead the militia stationed around Heritage Hill. Securing this district became my responsibility when this, whatever it is, happened. What are you doing here? I came searching for survivors. Only too late did I realize there weren't any. She brings a hand to her head. Her skin is practically translucent. I found myself surrounded by those creatures outside and had to seek refuge. Funny, isn't it, to hide from the dead in a building that was meant to hold them in the first place? Anyway, I've been waiting for more reinforcements. What are these soldiers doing here? She looks at them, but either she doesn't notice their distant gazes in the way they sway on their feet, or she thinks nothing of it. They're under my command, of course. They heard my call and would be waiting on a few more to help us fight our way out of here. How did they manage to hear you in this tomb? Her eyes flash. There's something natural about the way she hovers, watching you. Hope you're not questioning my command. I'm warning you, I don't tolerate insubordination. Not at all. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but you're already dead. Her eyes grow cold and hard. You'd better explain yourself, and quickly. You're a ghost, and you've been luring Crucible Knights to the deaths. She freezes in place, hovering in the air. No, that's impossible. It's only been... I can't be. The other side of the tomb is visible through her gaping mouth. She looks at her hands, seemingly for the first time, turning them in front of her. As her eyes and her mouth widen in horror, she turns to you. What have you done to me? Novitiates, attack! Oh, Christ. Okay, so we got a caster over there. Let's see if we can wheel this way in time. No! Alright. Get him. We'll do that. Do some combusting wounds. That's fine for now. Alright, now let's get some defenses up. And... what's wrong with you? You're terrified, god damn it. You know what, I'm gonna dump some big stuff on her, I think. Oh, that's awkward. Let's do the lance. It's terrified, eh? How are we doing here? Let's do the circle of magic. Circle of life. Try and bump her down. Oh boy, everyone's dying. Huh. Okay. Okay, let's change the plan. Well, Allied's down. Ah.
Beyond the sea.
He's down. Knocked out. Why are these guys hitting so hard? Okay. This is just going to be an exploratory,
Hey.
I'm going to have to redo this one for sure, I think. Spear up. Lockpick's down. Holy butts. These people hit like tanks. Okay, so every now and then she's just paralyzed and frightening aura, so we're gonna have to cast something right away to protect ourselves from that. Huh. But, I think that's for next episode. Folks, thanks for joining me. My name's Mal, and that was Durance talking a bunch, and then a big scary lady wrecking us. Yeah.